almost ready for lunch, but I want to show you that this is not all about shipping. There is somewhere on land, on shore, and it needs to be connected. This is the sketch of the Norwegian transport plan, the 12-year plan for all measures of transport, and rail is one of them. As you might see, if you're a little bit familiar with the area, Sweden is important for us for rail and roads towards the north of Norway. But we are trying to develop and renew our railways. And what I really want to show you is that there is a connection. And what I believe as being working in the bureaucracy, both on the coastal side and now on the rail side, is that the high north focus of the Norwegian politicians, both here in the area, but also in the government, is an important background for what we do now. And of course, areas of international cooperation, knowledge development, business development, and infrastructure to help all this. And of course, emergency preparedness and environmental protection that you will hear more about after lunch. And we are doing quite a lot on our rail lines here, both what we have, but I also want to show you some exciting new plans. Narvik, which is some hours south of Tromsø, is really the big harbor where rail meets shipping. This is mainly Swedish iron ore that is being brought down for shipping out to many destinations. It's high quality ore, and I think this is going on in a very heavy way. And what we see is that this is where we bring most tons of goods on rail, is that really short distance from Sweden, Kiruna, and over to Narvik, where it's shipped out. So why is it important with rail? Sustainability. This is electrified, and when you were talking about new ways of machinery in ships, we are following the same studies. Hydrogen is one of the ways we are looking into renewing our train stock. We are doing different things. Extension of Nordlandsbanen, which is actually to this city, Tromsø, 400 kilometers. The Arctic Ocean Railway, which is the one I'm going to show you at the end here, that is going from Rovaniemi in Finland to Kirkenes on the east part of northern Norway. And also I want to talk to you a little bit about the joint Barents transport plan, because this is important for us, that this is not Norwegian plans, it's international plans, it's the Barents region plans to see the countries all together, included Russia, and how we actually can work together, cooperate to see how we can get this infrastructure working. This is an old map showing north of Norway. It was drawn in the 90s, where they were trying to look how can we actually build rail from Bodø up to Tromsø. We are doing the task now. It's about 400 kilometers. We need to revise our knowledge base concerning infrastructure costs. And if you look at that map, even if you then just choose one of the red lines there, this is not cheap to build. There are fjords, there are mountains, and it will be challenging. And also what we see is that what kind of a freight market potential is there and benefits for society at all. What we know is that if we build a railway here, this will be the quickest way to get from Bodø to Tromsø will be much more straightforward than the roads, really. So then it could be more interesting than we thought it would be. And of course, tourism and taking farmed fish the other way down is also interesting. So we are in a process that we are sending the plan and the assessment to the government in autumn 2019, so another year to go. From the area where we want to build new railways. Arctic Ocean Railway. This is an interesting bit, because this is really a Finnish initiative. The Ministry of Transport in Finland, Anne Bøhner, that you might know, I think this was really her big plan about how can we connect to Europe, or from Finland to the north, to the Barents Sea, but to also actually get the connection there. So we've been cooperating with them to see, is this possible to do? And it is. And what I find interesting, and what they're talking about, not only rail, they are talking about the sea route to the east. They are talking about the route further down through Finland and down to Europe. And they're also talking about putting fiber for internet lines through the whole corridor, both at sea, under the rail, and through the whole thing. So this is really connecting in all matters. We've been doing many studies there. Should we go to Narvik? Could we go to Tromsø? But it ended up that Kirkenes was the most or the best place to go. What are we doing next there? There is a working group now appointed to determine the further stages and schedule of the work. And I think really to look into what kind of steps is it possible to build, because this one as well is a long and difficult, with a lot of Sami interests and natural interests, but also an area where you do have natural resources, both on the Finnish side and the Norwegian side, that could be possible to transport on that railway. So this is really the big project in this area. And of course, taking the train or using the train for transport of all kind of freight, and especially the natural resources like ore or metals or anything else that could be interesting to find in these areas, to be able to choose train instead of lorries will be a very good measure for sustainability. And also, coming back to my old job, the port study of Kirkenes, this is next to the airport, it's next to the main road, and we are planning to let the rail go all the way out to that port, and it's possible to do it. And I do hope it's sometime, this is what we see, that there's long trains going with resources, going out for shipping, and that we can really say that, no, we didn't just draw it and plan it and assess it, but we actually built it. Thank you.